A controversial data center project in Oldm County is now dead in the water.
And the county judge there, the Oldm County Judge Executive, announcing the developer pulled the plug today. Now, this is the project we've been talking about. It's been quite controversial. The massive data center on 267 acres of land.
That project would have cost $6 billion. Residents have pushed back since the beginning. Because of that, developer Western Hospitality Partners has pulled out. Jose Alonso and photojournalist Levi Hammer are live in Oldm County with the latest. Jose, what can you tell us?
Connie, Doug, what I can tell you is that the Oldm County Judge Executive, that's David Vogel, addressed several and answered several of our questions here today, from the withdrawal of the application from that company, Western Hospitality Partners, to still wanting to set rules and regulations for any data centers that want to build within the county, and even addressing the termination of his deputy judge. Now, Vogel says this data center came to them unannounced and led the county to play a game of catch-up, adding they still want to move forward with the 150-day moratorium to create rules and regulations if another data center company wants to call Oldm County home. Though it's a long and complicated process, Vogel says they're not opposed to this type of business, but felt this company should have built in a smaller, more industrial area.
Many businesses come to a community. We're interested in getting business in our community to help our tax base, but we're not trying to discourage people, but we didn't know anything about this one. It had questions that went with us. It came unexpectedly, and created quite a bit of consternation and confusion.
We also heard from Western Hospitality Partners about withdrawing their application. In a statement, they say, quote, while WHP currently has no plans to develop a data center in Oldm County, it emphasized that Kentucky remains a state full of opportunity and strong interest for future projects. Now, as far as the termination of the deputy judge who did bring up concerns about collusion within county government, well, Vogel says that's going to be investigated by the Kentucky Attorney General. Reporting live in LaGrange, Jose Alonso, WHAS11 on your side.
Jose, thank you very much. Now to the other late breaking news. The stunner in Bowling Green, Kentucky. The final moments of the Crystal Rogers murder trial takes a mind-boggling twist. The defense for Brooks Houck was resting its case when an unbelievable detail was revealed for the very first time.
Yeah, with the last day of testimony, the defense unveiled a shocking detail on the 2021 FBI search. We were there in August, nearly 4 years ago. This video shows agents digging up the concrete driveway and sidewalk in a new construction subdivision overseen by Brooks Houck.
Well, today the defense's own police expert, a respected former Metro Police homicide detective, revealed that women's clothing and underwear were found under a sidewalk and driveway at that home that Brooks Houck was building. Back in 2021, we learned that this was the only FBI search over the decade that yielded any items of interest. It was also said in court today that Crystal's DNA was not found on any of these items we're talking about, but still, it is now in the minds of the jury. This all coming at the 10-year mark, right to the date. Today's the 3rd of July, when Crystal was last seen alive and the last full day of testimony in this trial.
Shay McKenna, the Warren County Courthouse. The defense has rested the case now, Shay. So who did they have on the stand for their final witness today?
Well, you guys just talked about him a little bit. His name's Denver Butler. He is a respected LMPD former detective, and he has a lot of experience with looking over police investigations. He specifically follows a lot of these cases where he's asked to review them and ask how police did on their investigation. He looked at all of the searches at the Houck family farm, and in each one of those, he said that there was no trace of Crystal found, none of her personal belongings, none of her DNA, no sign of her at all. He also looked at different searches of family members' cars, including Houck's car, Nick's police cruiser, and a Whiteside's car, and said in all of those there was no sign of Crystal.
Questions over the last few weeks. It's been quite the scene to see them asking the detailed questions. What did they ask today?
They've had some fantastic questions over the last several weeks, and today was no different, Doug and Connie. Today they specifically wanted that police expert to talk about how the elements can affect DNA. They asked about fire, snow, rain, and time. He had different answers for each, ultimately saying that the DNA is one of the most powerful forms of evidence and that likely it would still be there if it ever was there. But one juror did push for a little bit more information and specifically wanted to know how time, if it would disintegrate over time. Is it possible that there would be no DNA left when they went and did these searches 5-8 years later? And he said, yes, that would be possible.
And Shay, with tomorrow being a holiday, any updates on the timing of the trial?
Yes, so here's what we know about the timing of the trial right now. They're off tomorrow. We know that on Monday, they're going to be coming back at 9 a.m. for closing arguments. The defense will go first. They have indicated it will take them through lunch. Then the Commonwealth will do their closings after lunch, and this jury will be deliberating on Tuesday morning. Doug and Connie?
Shay, thank you so much. So we've got a lot to talk about even later tonight as we're now heading into the long holiday weekend. I invite you to join me tonight at 9 on the WHAS 11 Plus app. I'm joined along with Shay, Alexandra Goldberg, and WHAS 11 legal analyst, Louisville attorney Nick Mudd, as we bring you a 30-minute deep dive look into today's stunning events. To watch it, download the free WHAS 11 Plus app on your TV and watch for free again tonight at 9.
All right, so many events starting tonight. A lot of folks going out tonight and enjoying holiday early.
Fireworks will be going on, and what a sky. We have got some clouds there just puffing around, but Mallory, you were saying last night at 11 o'clock that the sun index is like over the top.
Yes.
This is as bright as it's going to get.
The UV index is at 11. That's considered extreme. And if you've been out the last couple of days, of course, you can feel just how strong that sun is. We have the strong sun angle, so just make sure you have, of course, many ways to stay cool, stay hydrated, find shade over the next several days. And don't forget that SPF. We're taking a live look from our Bachman Auto Group U of L health camera there over the 2nd Street Bridge. Temperatures are in the upper 80s and lower 90s, depending on where you are in the Louisville Metro. 89 at both airports there, 94 in downtown, 89 in PRP and Valley Station, 87 currently in Iroquois Park. Big picture view of Kentuckiana. We have 87 in Litchfield and Hardinsburg, 86 in Paoli, 89 degrees currently in Scottsburg right now. Current dew points, those are starting to inch up a tad in some spots. Louisville still sitting at 60, so not nearly as humid as we could be for this time of year. We're going to really start to feel that humidity more so, I would say, Sunday and into next week. Satellite and radar, all is dry. You're just seeing a few of those fair weather cumulus clouds puffing up. So it should be a good night to get that grill going. Expect temperatures in the mid to upper 80s for the next several hours, staying hot and dry with light winds. And then tonight, we're back down into the lower 70s in Louisville, 60s elsewhere. We will take a look at our 4th of July and that full holiday weekend forecast coming up in just a bit.
Mallory, thank you. We've got more major news to tell you about happening today. Misty Null, the estranged wife of the former sheriff in Clark County, Indiana, Jamie Null, sentenced today to 18 months in prison.
Judge Larry Medlock accepted her plea deal, also ordering her to pay $660,000 in restitution. Focus reporter Travis Breeze and senior photojournalist Alyssa Newton show us what the judge said to her before she went into custody.
Given that this was the last time Judge Larry Medlock was going to speak directly to a member of the Null family, he spoke for over 5 minutes to Misty. He reminded her that when she took this plea deal 5 weeks ago, she said she knowingly and willingly committed these crimes.
Take your time in prison to reflect upon the choices that you've made, your attempted queen status, and tried to live the high life on the backs of the honest folks and citizens of Clark County.
Judge Larry Medlock offering his advice to Misty Null the same way he did for Jamie Null and their daughter.
Unfortunately, you partnered with your estranged husband in this abuse of power.
Misty pleaded guilty to spending over $600,000 from her husband Jamie's nonprofit fire and ambulance company on personal items like tanning beds, travel, jewelry, and more. Their daughter Casey got out after being sentenced to 4.5 months in jail for stealing over $100,000. She's out on probation until 2029.
And my kids, my girls, follow me down that path. They need me to be a strong presence. But how I feel about the events that's led me here today, I have a great amount of remorse for my ignorance.
After some discussion about how her restitution will be paid, Misty was taken away in handcuffs. She said one final goodbye to her daughters Gracie and Casey in the crowd. Misty is representing herself in her divorce from Jamie Null. She recently made a motion for a final hearing in the divorce, but it is unclear when that will take place. In Jeffersonville with senior photojournalist Alyssa Newton, Travis Breeze, WHAS11 on your side.
Since level 5 felonies are a 75% crime, Misty is expected to get out after serving 13.5 months.
The restitution for Jamie and Misty's cases, which is over $3.5 million, will likely take several more months to be gathered. Well, a Louisville officer shot at a man who reportedly pointed a gun at police in the Parkland neighborhood late last night. Officers responded to Dumanil Street around 11:30 for a report of a suicidal intoxicated man. They found 27-year-old Garad Amir Garad in the back of the house with a gun, and police say Garad was told to drop that weapon, but instead pointed it at officers. An officer fired, but Garad was not hurt. He eventually dropped the gun and was arrested. His wife and family member told police he had punched and strangled her until she blacked out. He now faces charges of strangulation, assault, and wanton endangerment.